Okay, welcome to this week's episode of the Ramblin' Runnels podcast. I sincerely apologize that I haven't done one in an awful long time. I air all your grievances, but here we are. I am joined today with my lovely wife.
Hello.
Jillian Winters, and this podcast is going to be a special one, and it's going to be about our dear Thaddeus. It's been a year since his passing, and
it was a year on December 1st.
Yeah, so December 1st.
So Sunday.
So a year and a couple of days.
And if you hear a lot of background noise and wondering what it is, it's because we're in the living room and Manny, the kitten, is playing with jingle balls and trying to attack a Christmas tree, like right now. Come on, over here, lay down.
Yeah, so, yes, I also want to say, the reason why I haven't done the podcast is because it's kind of difficult working nights and trying to deal with all that, so...
My brother suggested that I do a solo podcast since Jesse's too busy, so just, temporarily. So if anyone's interested in that, definitely let us know.
Okay. Well, I think this podcast we're gonna just kind of talk about, fond memories of Thaddeus. I guess I'll go first. Early on in our relationship, me and Jill, I was in her apartment at the time by myself, just hanging out.
Okay, can we pause it and I put him up in his room?
But, so now that I was rudely interrupted, so...
Okay, before you tell that story, though, can you talk about when you met Thaddeus? Wasn't it 2 months into our dating?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I remember when me and Jill first dated, she said that she had 2 cats, and I only ever saw one, and that was Luther. So I didn't believe she had a second cat.
He said that to me one time, and I made him... Thaddeus was always under the bed whenever Jesse came over, so I made him look under the bed, shine a flashlight to see Thaddeus. And sure enough, our little raccoon was down there.
Yeah. But,
he was freshly adopted and scared. He only loved his mama and his brother.
Yeah. That's about right.
And he liked women better than men, too.
Probably. But
anyways, yeah, a story you were telling.
Yeah. So I was in the apartment by myself, and I was laying on the couch. I think I was watching TV or something, and I noticed Thaddeus went into his box, and then I noticed that he I went and checked, he had a little box he went into. And I went in to check to see if he was still in there, and he wasn't. And I was like, oh man, where'd he go? And I guess he snuck out, and I thought he got out of the apartment somehow. And I was getting all worried, but then I was looking around, couldn't find him, was going crazy, was about to have a heart attack because of all the anxiety, but then...
and you know that I would have left you.
Yeah, I was like, this is it. Jill's gonna kill me.
Yeah, I actually probably would have murdered you.
Yeah, but...
Not just left you. Murdered.
But, turns out that he was in the apartment the whole time, just staring at me, sitting on a shelf, and the look in his face made it seem like I was, the idiot, the fool.
Well.
And, I haven't felt that duped in a long time.
So Thaddeus's box, it was this special air mattress box that he really, really loved. He liked to sit on top of it, and then he liked to get in it, even though he had to, kitty cat pancake to get inside of it. And there were times where it was facing the couch, so you could see the entry to the box, and when we were, sitting, watching TV and stuff, and there would be times where he'd go in, and then he just wouldn't be in there. And, we can see the box, so we would see him if he came out, and he just wouldn't. So I don't think he was a cat to begin with. I think he's some kind of weird Yeti raccoon mix that couldn't quite take it, so they sent him to disguise himself as a cat away from the Yeti raccoon colony. And I think he had some kind of, since he's part Yeti, some kind of secret mythical powers where he could create portals, and I think he made a portal into a different dimension in that box. That's how he would, get on shelves without us seeing him leave and not be in the box when we saw him go in, but he never came out.
I think he was just really quiet.
No, he had a portal.
Okay. I mean, he walked around and he was this big cat and he didn't make any sound.
Because he had little fluff paws.
Yeah, but I don't know.
He was a little quiet, babe.
Yeah, he was a sneaky one. He was shifty.
Even his little meows were quiet. His little chirps.
He was a bit you couldn't necessarily trust him.
You could trust him. You just couldn't find him.
I don't know. He seemed a little shady, if you ask me.
Well, that's because he didn't know if he wanted you or not.
Okay.
He always was good for Mama. Some of my favorite memories is how he would, no matter if he ate an hour ago, so I control feed, so they get their breakfast and their dinner, and then sometimes a little midnight snack. Thaddeus would have his breakfast and he'd go take his nap with his brother. And I usually fed him around 6 or so, 5 or 6. It'd be 3 p.m. and he would just go wait at his food bowl. Just lay in there for hours, just waiting right in front of his food bowl. He was determined that he wasn't going to miss food the second it went down. And it was so precious.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Thaddeus. He was
perfect.
Yeah, he was perfect. He was fluffy. He was a big old cat. He was pretty big.
He was mostly fluff.
Yeah.
I mean, he got fat at the end, but whatevs. So Thaddeus's backstory, for those of you who don't know, first off, he's like a Blue Point Himalayan mix, kind of. So he had, the broad, flat face, the big fluffy tail and the paws. And I got him when I was in Minnesota, and he was from an abandoned hoarder's trailer. So he always did love to just sit on trash piles, and I think it's because that's what he was used to in this trailer. And when he was trapped by the shelter I was volunteer with, he was frozen. He wouldn't move. He wouldn't move to use a litter pan. He wouldn't move to eat. He just stayed in this corner. And when I would reach in to pet him and get his little belly, it was vile because it was just so sweaty and matted and gross because he wasn't moving. He was just laying on his tummy, just frozen. So eventually he started warming up and getting used to humans, and I took home this different cat to see if Luther would get along with her because I thought she was super cute. And I took her home, and of course she and Luther did not hit it off at all. And Thaddeus, the whole time, as I was bringing this cat back and forth and trying to figure out what cat was going to be a good fit for Luther, Thaddeus just knew. He was patient. Every time I'd walk by his cage, he'd reach out his paw to grab me, hook my clothes with his nails, meow for me to pet him. He just knew. And the first day I brought him home, I tried to separate Luther and Thaddeus. You know how you're supposed to do, make a little sanctuary room for the new cat? Well, Luther just broke down the door immediately. And then he and Thaddeus got in the windowsill and just hung out and groomed each other. They just knew that they were brothers. Absolutely meant to be. They were so perfect together.
Yeah, they were awfully happy with each other. Luther was Thaddeus's personal cleaner, groomer.
Yeah. He had regular spa appointments at Spa Luther.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing right up till the moment that he passed. Well, he had gone upstairs for a few minutes, but until that, me, Thaddeus, and Luther were sitting on the couch, and Luther did a good, an hour grooming and snuggling session with Thaddeus. Mm-hmm. It was so sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Thaddeus was always pretty clean and fresh, I guess. But, yeah, they all... As far as the closeness between our kitties, I think that, as far as I've seen, those were the two that were the closest, as far as got along with each other.
Oh, yeah, they were soulmates.
Yeah.
Pixie and Luther love each other a lot. And Lucy is obsessed with Pixie. Mm-hmm. But none of it's the same.
Yeah.
And Manny, our foster kitten, I don't know if he'll ever be accepted. We might have to adopt him out. Mm-hmm. But no matter who we choose to replace Thaddeus as Luther's brother, it's just never going to be the same.
Yeah. But we both really miss Thaddeus, and he was a very special kitty to us.
Okay, I'm going to start crying. Let's not do that.
All right.
I still kind of want to kill myself when I think about it.
Do you have any other memories that stick out with you, Jill?
Hi, Luther. Luther came over to join the podcast. Toot toot. We're talking about you, Bubbins. Yeah. I don't have specific memories, but one of my favorite things is back when it was just me and Luther and Thaddeus. Thaddeus would lay on his back and let his and spread let his legs flop to the side, and he was just pure fluff. You couldn't tell. It just looked like a pile of cotton.
Yeah.
And he and Luther would spoon all the time.
Did you talk about how you would camp out by the feeders?
Yeah.
That you would just hang out for hours?
Yeah.
In the kitchen waiting for the next meal?
And in the morning, if I didn't get up fast enough, he'd come up and just lightly place his little paw right on my cheek to wake me up. Just a little tap tap to remind me that it was breakfast time.
Yeah, he was a big starer too. He would just stare at you from afar.
Yeah. Oh, and of course his pizza boxes.
Oh yeah, he was close to getting what was it? Little Caesars almost wanted to put them on their Instagram, but then
they asked for permission and then they never did.
Yeah, they never did.
Because Thaddeus was so obsessed with his pizza boxes that I wanted him to pose for a Christmas photo in front of the Christmas tree, so I just put one of his pizza boxes there and he just laid down on it and got the perfect photo. Mm-hmm. But there was something about Little Caesar's pizza boxes that he just... Only the extramost bestest, though. None of the other boxes were right, except the extramost bestest. And he would just... That's all he wanted to lay on, was those boxes. So he was amassing quite the collection and had a little box kingdom. Mm-hmm. We still have his boxes, actually.
Yeah. He enjoyed his cardboard. He was a cardboard connoisseur.
Connoisseur.
Yeah.
I have some fur from him still, and I'm going to get it. I found this, I wanted to do a locket, but I found this, necklace where they enclose it in glass or, enamel or something. It looks like glass. And I found a nice, pretty blue, which that was his color. So I'm going to get some of his fur set into glass for a pendant. I'm really excited about it.
That's cool.
Luther's laying on me right now. Look at how cute he is.
But, I think, he was a great cat. Trying to think of some other stories. I remember that he would never... I think it took a very long time before he would actually, I could probably count on one hand how many times he crawled in my lap. It took a long time for him to do it the first time.
Yeah, I honestly don't remember him being in your lap very much.
Yeah.
He was definitely a mama's boy.
Yeah.
He only cared about Luther and Mama.
Yeah.
every morning I would have to take some time to just sit on the couch, and he would get on my chest and make biscuits.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter what I was doing, just had to make sure we had that biscuit time.
Yeah.
Luther does that sometimes too now. Keeping the tradition alive.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, well, we should probably wrap up before I start sobbing.
All right, well...
I still randomly cry in public whenever I think about it.
Yeah, this was kind of a short one, but
full of the most beautiful stories.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this episode of the Ramblin' Reynolds podcast. I try to be more frequent as I can.
Or I can do a solo one.
That too. And I'll produce it. But I hope you guys enjoy this week's episode. And you can like and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, the Podbean app. So please, and you could follow me. You could follow my wife on Instagram, Facebook.
Oh, you can follow
Cookie Addict 88.
That's my personal one.
Or you could follow Thaddy the Fatty on Instagram to find pictures of Thaddeus.
Thaddy the Fatty. And now it features some throwbacks of Thaddeus sometimes, and it features his siblings. But you can look it used to just be his, so you can look and look at all the beautiful pictures and videos of him.
Alright, so well, that's it for us. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and enjoy.